Have you ever experienced someone pushing your buttons before? You probably have, and if you're like me, it's hard not to push some buttons back. But as Christians, we've been called to be better. We've been called to let our words and our actions glorify God and to bring love and encouragement to others. This Thursday 3, we'll be wrapping up our study on our words, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Solomon was the wisest man to live, and he wrote in Proverbs that a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. You've probably experienced that. You've probably found that to be true. I know I have. I know every time I respond in an unkind way or I push someone's buttons, it just seems to make the situation worse. And as Christians, we should never make a situation worse. In fact, we should always make a situation better. We should always show love, encouragement, and patience to those around us, despite the way they treat us. Paul told us this in Romans. Paul said, if possible, as far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. That's a really difficult passage. I can still hear my mother's voice in my head every time I read that passage, and I can still hear my excuses. But you don't understand. They did, and she would always stop me, and she would say, Jonathan, I don't care what they did. You are responsible for your actions. I'm not going to worry what they did because you're the one who's responsible. You have responsibility to take ownership of your actions. You see, I think sometimes us Christians like to put the blame on others. We don't take ownership of our actions and we make excuses by saying, well, only if they hadn't done this, I would have never responded like that. That's not at all what we've been called to do. We've been called to let our words glorify Him. If all possible, live at peace with everyone. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where it's difficult to respond in love, it's difficult to use proper language, proper words, remember what Solomon wrote when he said, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word, a word that is negative, a word that's going to tear someone down, maybe even words that are not thought out, will bring about anger, will stir up more anger. And Paul reminded us that we have the responsibility to live at peace with one another, as far as it depends on you. Don't worry about the other person, only worry about what you can control. And you can control your actions and your words. This has been This Thursday 3. We'll see you guys next week.